Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host. This evening's topic is a general overview of the Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation and a couple events that they have coming up. And with me to discuss this evening's topic is Mary, who's the Executive Director of the Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation. Mary, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for coming down. So tell us a little bit about who is Mary DeVizia from the Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation and what is the foundation?
Okay. My name is Mary, as you know, and I'm the Executive Director of the Foundation, Pete. And what I do is keep the foundation up and running.
All right.
I help to fundraise, I helped to solicit sponsorship, coordinate events, and all of that good stuff. Coordinate the volunteers, everything that it takes to keep the foundation up and running and prosperous.
Nice. And how long have you been with the organization?
I've been with Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation for about 1.5 years now.
Okay.
And it's really been a wonderful experience. Yes, I enjoy it very much.
Now, what did you do before you joined the organization?
Well, I have my own event planning company, Mary D Events, and so I do that in my spare time. And I have a background in event planning, catering, meeting management, all of that good stuff. Everything that blends and lends itself very well to being part of the foundation.
Now, as far as the foundation goes, can you tell us a little bit about the foundation and maybe who was Terry Broder?
I will. The foundation was founded in 2006 by Sandy Maniscalco and Norma Logan. And these two women, along with a core group who are still actively involved with the foundation, walked one of those 3-day walk for a very major breast cancer foundation. They did that for several years.
Sure.
One year they raised over $200,000 and were quite shocked when they determined a large portion of that money went to the overhead of that foundation. And with that, Norma took it upon herself and to rally her troops to form a new foundation, a different kind of foundation. And what's unique about Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation is that 100% of the gross fundraising dollars goes directly to breast cancer research, 100%. We cover our expenses and our overhead, operating costs, all through sponsorship support, volunteerism, in-kind donations, and that's what keeps our foundation successful, yes. So the foundation is named for Terry Broder. Terry Broder was born in Waterford, Connecticut, spent most of her adult life in Old Saybrook, Connecticut, and she was a friend of Norma, and unfortunately she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And Norma, in the spirit of Terry's fighting spirit, decided to name the foundation after her. Terry succumbed to the disease in 2005. She left behind 3 young children. And unfortunately, Norma contracted the disease as well and passed away in 2006.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Not a good disease.
Not a good disease, and that's what's so important about our foundation. Our fundraising dollars goes towards research.
Right.
There are wonderful foundations out there that support breast cancer, survivors, families, all of that good stuff, all very well needed. Our position is that we want to get to the core of it. We want to fund researchers, up and coming and cutting edge researchers who can help eradicate the disease or find effective treatment for it.
Sure.
We really want to work ourselves out of business.
Okay.
Yes.
And hopefully the foundation won't be around in a couple of
that would be that would be okay. That's our goal, is that we don't want to be working anymore. We want there to be effective treatment and all of our hard work with an end result.
Now, like you said, that there are a whole bunch of different breast cancer walks and breast cancer events, and what makes you guys so special and so unique?
Our walk we have a marathon walk. Our annual largest fundraising event takes place the first Saturday in October.
All right.
So this year that falls on October 4th.
Yes.
And it is a marathon walk, and people become a little bit, you know, you say a marathon and they say, what? 26.2 miles. Well, we have a group of people who have been doing it. This is going to be our 9th year, who have been doing it for every year. Okay. And we have new people who come on board every single year as well. Sure. And it's not just a marathon walk. You have an opportunity to do the full 26.2 miles. And that starts in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. Sure. On the 4th at 7 a.m. in the morning, or there's an opportunity to do a half marathon walk. So 13.10 miles.
Right.
That's a little bit more doable, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Sure.
13.10 miles, and that starts in East Lyme at 10 a.m. on the 4th. And if you're maybe, feel like you might not be able to do that, you can absolutely still participate because you can do a quarter marathon walk.
Which is?
And that is 6.5 miles. And that starts in Niantic at 11 a.m.
Okay.
And the route is fully supported from start to finish. We have pit stops that have hydration and snacks. We have medical team out there at every pit stop. So there's support the whole way through the walk itself. There's lunches provided, and the walk will end at Camp Harkness, which is in Waterford. And we do a beautiful closing ceremony, and we thank everyone for coming out. And it's truly a wonderful, wonderful day.
Now, what are people going to expect during the closing ceremonies?
Closing ceremonies, we have a guest speaker or two. Okay. And we're excited about this year's guest speaker, to be announced at very, very soon. We have our scientific advisory committee presence, and they give us what's new and what the researchers are working on, which is great because the scientific terminology, they're working on such a scale that's above my head. It's wonderful to have someone who can speak the language and in a way that's easily digestible for all of us to understand. Right. And then we have a beautiful ceremony for all of the women and men who are survivors or going through treatment, and honor them as well. And we take care of food for everyone. You can sign banners. It's a wonderful afternoon. And
it is.
Yes.
And where does it start in Old Saybrook?
It starts right at Old Saybrook Point, right by the Saybrook Point Inn. Okay. And it meanders through all of the coastline. It's a beautiful walk. Okay. You start to see things that you might not have ever seen in your own backyard, and go down streets and paths that you might not have ever been through before. You form relationships with your fellow walkers, with the volunteers who are supporting the walkers. Right. Our towns are wonderful, and they support us. The town of Niantic decorates all of the storefronts in pink. Really? And that's really, more towards the latter half of the walk, so that gives the walkers a lot of encouragement. Homes along the route will set up stands with water and refreshments and have their own cheering squad out there to rally the walkers on. Yes, we get support from the local policemen and women out there. It's truly a magnificent day. It does. It seems like it's a great day. And what else can we talk about as far as the foundation goes? As far as, obviously you said you're all volunteers, so there's no overhead and expenses. Well, there is overhead and expenses, but that is really supported through our sponsorship program. So we have corporations, small and large, such as Pfizer, WFSB, Carling Construction Company. There's so many of them. There's a list of about 100 who give us support in monetary fashion, in cold hard cash, which helps with our overhead and our expenses in terms of marketing and mailings and collateral and things of that nature. And there are in-kind sponsors. There's food companies and businesses that donate product. Professionals who donate their time. At the end of the walk in Camp Harkness, we have a whole massage tent so that all of the walkers are rewarded with a lovely massage after 26.2 miles or 10 or 6 miles. And all of that time, all the masseuses donate their time and their energy on a Saturday, which would typically be a busy day for masseuses. And they volunteer their services to make certain that everyone's feeling as good as they can be at the very end. So it takes a lot to make it happen. So we're always in need of sponsorship support. And you can go online to our website, tbbcf.org, or give us a call in the office. But all of our sponsorship information is online, readily available, as is walk information. And we also seek support in volunteers. It takes about 200 volunteers to execute the day from start to finish. There is a core group of volunteers. We call them our walk team captains.
Okay.
And they have been working diligently for months now behind the scenes in their respective roles, whether it be traffic and safety along the route and contacting the state for permits and individual towns for permits. Right. And it could be registration for the quarter and half marathon at those locations, making sure we have secure insurance certificates. Right. It's hydration, our hydration team that keeps all of the walkers hydrated, reaching out and securing donated water and power aids and energy drinks and things of that nature. So it takes a lot. And so again, you can sign up on our website for volunteers, and our website's pretty concise and easy to navigate through, so you can pick different roles that you feel like you might enjoy participating in and volunteering in. And then once you go and check that information, somebody calls you back? Yes, absolutely. Within about 2 weeks prior to the walk, the team captains will reach out to all of the volunteers and get all the necessary information and make sure that they're ready, they know where to go and get their information. And now as far as the day of the walk, what are you up to? You're running around like a chicken with your head shut. I do that route. You know, I don't have to run around with a chicken without a head because our team is fabulous, Pete. Ah, okay. And they work so hard to make certain that I don't have to. I'm there for support. I troubleshoot. Say a vehicle breaks down or we need more product or you know, anything of that nature. Cheering the walkers on, thanking the community, thanking everyone who participates along the route, helping us out. It's a lot of fun. It is. Are you going to come out and walk with us? I hope to. I definitely hope to. You are hereby formally invited to do so. Oh, thank you. I might have to do that weekend because now I know what weekend it is. And yes. I'll just have to check the schedule and make sure everything's on point as far as the weekend goes, but I'm sure I can. You can put a rerun on your show. Exactly. Exactly. That would certainly be fun. Now, as far as other information on the website, before we go into the commercial break, what other kind of information can people find on the website? We have a new website. Thank you for asking. We have a new website this year, and we're pretty excited about it. It was. It was engineered by Pyramid Marketing. Okay. They're a New London company, and it is a website, a software program that is geared towards event, whether it be a running event or a biking event, you know, or a walking event. It's event driven, and what's fabulous about it, Pete, is that the walkers and the participants have an opportunity to really market their fundraising. Right. So they can log on and they can register. And then they can create their own profile, they can tell their story and why they're doing it, and why it's so important for them to participate in the Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation Walk. And they can email it out to their friends, they can social media it, they can tweet it, and it really helps with the process. Well, you know what, Mary, we're actually going to go into a break. Would you mind sticking around for another segment? I'd be delighted to. Thank you so much. No problem. We'll be right back. It would be safe to keep your distance until the secret that you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this here.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host, sitting here with Mary DeVizia from the Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation. Mary, welcome back. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, thanks for sticking around. So during the first segment, we talked about the website and what kind of information people can find on the website. For my viewers and radio listeners just joining us, I was wondering if maybe we can mention the website one more time and what type of information they can find on the site. I will be happy to do that. Sure. So our website, you can find us at www.tbbcf.org.
TerryBroderBreastCancerFoundation.org.
Okay.
So it's the initials of the foundation, Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation. And the website is really great because not only can you register for the walk that takes place on October 4th, Saturday, the marathon walk, it also gives you information on what's happening within our community, and that is all of the walkers and supporters of the foundation who hold their own fundraising events. We had several golf tournaments, Women Golf Associations, Great Neck Country Club, Old Lyme Country Club, the women's golfers do fundraising events for us, raising all kinds of money, which goes directly to breast cancer research, 100%. People have pig roasts, yard sales. One walker is having a 80s prom night.
Really?
And all of that information is on our calendar.
Okay.
And it will indicate whether it's open to the public and people can participate. But it's wonderful. We have Sava Insurance, which is a New London-based, Waterford-based company, insurance company. They are doing their second annual volleyball tournament, and that takes place, that takes place next weekend. So there's a lot going on there. So the website gives you all types of information on the events that are taking place for the foundation. And with the foundation, it gives you the opportunity to register for the walk itself. And it will also give you information on where the monies are directed to. So as I mentioned, 100% of our fundraising dollars goes towards breast cancer research.
Right, and that was going to be my next question. Where does the money go to?
Great, I'm glad you asked that. So our funds are directed via a grant process.
Okay.
And we have a really esteemed scientific advisory board. And these gentlemen meet and review all of the grant applications that come in once a year. October is our grant season. And once they vet through all of those applications, they will decide on who shall be awarded them. And that's all based on how much money we raise. So last year we were able to award 3 grants. Our grants are $100,000 each. And that funds 2 years worth of research per researcher. And last season's researchers, 2 came from Sloan Memorial Kettering Hospital and 1 from Smilo in Yale. And these are up-and-coming researchers. And we start out with them when they have a new idea or a new concept to be developed. And it's really fascinating because oftentimes this is on the base level of research. And it's not unusual for several of our grant recipients to be picked up by yet even larger foundations and or research grants. So we see progress. We're delighted to be part of it, and we're grateful that we can help these young researchers hopefully find a cure.
Exactly. And again, for those of our viewers and listeners just joining us, maybe we can touch on the walk and the event.
Yes. So it's always the first Saturday. Makes it easy to remember.
Gotcha.
So it's Saturday, October 4th. Now it also happens to be Yom Kippur. And we want to acknowledge that. And so we have made arrangements for anyone who would typically observe the holiday to do our training walks, our practice training walks. We've had 2 already. We have another one coming up. And they're distance walks. The last one was a week ago, and that was 16 miles. The next walk there's 2 left, 18 miles and then 20 miles. The next one takes place in Old Saybrook, and then there's another one in Mystic. But so if you wanted to observe the holiday and yet still contribute, you could put your mileage in prior to the walk, still fundraise for it. So we're happy to be able to support those who still support us and obviously observe their faith. But the walk takes place, it begins in Old Saybrook, as I mentioned previously, Saybrook Point, and that's the start time for the full marathon, 26.2 miles. Yes. And that meanders through Old Lyme and Lyme, and the half marathon picks up in East Lyme on Capitol Drive at 10 a.m. And then it continues on and meanders through Rocky Neck. You can stop and have a bite to eat of Rocky Neck. And I might add, all along the route, there are pit stops with a medical team, hydration, restrooms, snacks to keep you going. And then the quarter marathon picks up in Niantic
Okay.
And that would be the 6.5 miles. And then the rest of the group, everyone together, reaches Rocky Neck State Park, Camp Harkness,
Sure.
and that's where the end is. And it usually would start at 7 a.m. in the morning, and we pretty much have the last walkers in by 3 o'clock, 3:30.
So everybody's home by like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Absolutely, in the hot tub.
Sounds good to me.
Resting their sore bones, but feeling very fulfilled for
Yes.
having contributed to a success in terms of raising awareness, raising dollars, much needed dollars for cancer research.
Now, I know there's a bunch of cancer research organizations out there, and
Yes.
if I didn't know you guys from point A to point B, and I just met you, and I said to you, what makes you different than cancer research organization number B,
100%.
what would you tell me?
100%. 100% of every fundraising dollar that comes into our foundation is directed to breast cancer research. We take great pride in that, and we take great care in distinguishing. Anytime somebody gives us money, and if it's just a check, we reach out to them and say, how do you want this check to be applied? There's two ways. You can apply it directly to research, or you can apply it to the overhead of the foundation as a sponsorship. Yeah. And so we have full transparency in that. But there aren't many organizations out there that will give 100%. So we work lean and mean. We seek sponsorship support, in-kind, volunteer hours, corporate sponsorship dollars, small business sponsorship dollars to help with our overhead, our marketing, our bills, and things of that nature. But 100% fundraising dollars goes to.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. And obviously, it's not only you in the office. You obviously have someone else, or is it basically just you?
It's There are a cast of wonderful characters, Pete, that keep Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation alive. We have lovely women and men who do a lot of volunteer work. We keep it lively. We have a good time doing it because it should be, the cause is serious,
right.
But we dedicate a lot of our time and energies to make it happen, and so you might as well have fun doing that.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. And I'm sure you have fun when you run around and talk to people and do interviews like this and other.
Oh yes, it's great to know you.
It is. we're gonna have some fun at the walk.
Yes.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully, it's not too cool of a day. It's October. Hopefully
We've been very fortunate.
Hopefully the weather's going to be nice.
I don't want to jinx anything.
No,
I see
me
there's some
either.
wood behind us. I'm going to tap it when we get up off set.
Exactly.
But we've only had 1 year, 2009, where it monsooned. But the walk goes on. It's a rain or shine event, unless, of course, the weather is really threatening, and then we would call it in terms of wind and lightning and anything that could be detrimental to anyone's safety.
Now, if it gets called, is there a reschedule date?
It is not a rescheduled date, unfortunately, due to the logistics in planning it and the volunteer hours that take place. It's a rain or shine event.
All right.
And people still fundraise. We
Right.
just want them to have a good time while they're doing it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like I was telling a friend of mine not long ago who's involved in politics. He was doing a fundraiser. He was like, I'm like, I can't make it to your event because I've got I double booked myself. He was like, I would much rather see you, but send me a check anyway. All right, fine. So in other words, if you can't make it, you can't make the event, you guys will always accept money.
Always accept money. And you can make a donation directly on our website. You can distinguish between donation and or sponsorship.
Okay.
You can always send us a check in. Our address is on our website.
All right.
And again, the website is www.tbbcf.org.
Okay. And as far as where are you guys based out of? You guys I believe you're out of New London?
We are out of New London.
Okay.
We are grateful to receive donated office space out of Dougherty, Beals and Banks, which is a CPA firm in New London.
Sure.
And so that's where we conduct our business. And it's been a wonderful experience.
And hopefully, like you said, we've said in the first segment, hopefully in a couple of years you guys won't be in business because they would have found a cure for breast cancer.
We work hard, Pete. We work very hard to make certain that that we work ourselves out of business. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, we want to see effective treatment and eradication of breast cancer.
Exactly. And as far now, is this the walk in October, which is held the first Saturday every year in October?
Yes.
Is this your major fundraiser of the year, or is this just one of?
It is our biggest fundraiser. It's our major fundraiser of the year.
All right.
We do a winter event, and that is typically around in February, around Valentine's Day.
Okay.
All of that information is always updated on our website.
Okay.
And we're doing an event in Westerly at the Westerly, Rhode Island. In a few weeks as well, in the month of September, yes.
Really?
Yes.
All right. What is normally the event in February?
Last February, we did a Valentine's dance. Yes, and that took place at the Mystic Marriott, and it was a wonderful fundraiser. It was casual. Our walk is very serious.
Right.
This is a little bit more fun.
Right.
Still raising awareness, still driving those fundraising dollars, and it was a dinner dance, and we had the fabulous Sugar Band as entertainment.
All right.
We had a silent auction, and we raised about $8,000. Yes, yeah. So it was great.
We're about to say goodnight, but before we do, I want to thank you for coming on, and hopefully this will be we can work together again.
I hope so, Pete. This has been wonderful. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks.
On behalf of Mary, I'm Peter. Thanks, goodnight, and we'll see you next week.